Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the 4D model kits Star Wars The Mandalorian Boba Fett Starship, aka Slave 1 paper model kit. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here on the top we've got Star Wars The Mandalorian Boba Fett Starfighter, aka Slave 1. And then there's, some Mandalorian stuff going on. And there's a picture of Slave 1 right there. 130 pieces. Moving around to the front, we've got the Mando again. Star Wars The Mandalorian paper model kit. And it's a little bit thicker than paper, a little bit thicker than cardstock. It's more like cardboard. And then here's a nice, I'm guessing, a digital render of it. It could be a practical shot. I'm not really sure. On a space background with a little bit of a planet down here. It's atmosphere going on. 130 pieces, 8 and up. 4D model kit Boba Fett Starfighter, aka Slave 1. Disney Plus on the bottom. Warning, attention! Advertencia, don't stick things in your pie hole of any language if it doesn't belong there. 4D Cityscape Incorporated, and there's their address if you want to mail them a letter. www.4dmodelkit.com. Don't give it to baby. Symbols I'm not going to learn. A barcode, item number, made in China print. On this side, we've got Star Wars The Mandalorian, Boba Fett Starfighter, aka Slave 1, and the same stuff from the top, 130 pieces. And then this side is the same stuff going on. And then moving around to the back, Star Wars The Mandalorian. And here we've got two different views, the front view and the side view of Boba Fett Starship. Here it is in an assembly stage, I guess. Stands included, but there's only one stand. And there's a completed ship, and there's some of the cards there in the back, along with the glue and the little glue applier stick thingy. And it's got some measurements there. That it is 17.56 inches tall, 14.2 long, and 6.10 wide. And there it is in centimeters also. Sheets and glue, blah, blah, blah. 130 pieces. StarWars.com, Lucasfilm print. Collect them all in every language, and 4D model kit. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the model kit and accessories, I guess. Not that this is really accessories. This is like the cardboard sprue piece that you punch all of the parts out, and there's several of these, and they are, it folds out, so it's twice what you think it is, and they have little numbers on them that tells you, what it is, and it'll all tell you it's Boba Fett Starfighter. There's a number for it. It's sheet 3 of 6, and it's got a letter on here somewhere. I thought maybe not. Maybe this one doesn't have letters, but there's what all the parts come out of, and there's at least 6 of those. And then here's the instructions. Star Wars The Mandalorian. There's the end. There's, I don't know if this is a product shot or a render. Either one it could be. Paper model kit, it says. 4D model kit Boba Fett Starfighter. Wrong! It's Slave 1. Disney print, 130 pieces, 8 and up. And then on the inside, pretty good instructions on how to put everything together, and you can see there's a lot of pieces. They're itty bitty pieces, and you see where it's got that dewdrop. That means glue it, which I didn't do. So that does lead to some issues with this model kit. So I do recommend, if you get this one, oops, y'all didn't want to see all that junk. If you do get this one, you know, glue it. This part doesn't need to glue. It stays together pretty well. It's a stand. Star Wars says Boba Fett Starfighter, but it should say Slave 1. And you can see it's not completely flat on the bottom, but it does sit pretty stably. And you put this together just like the other parts, or the rest of it. And it's got a cradle right here, which is where the ship sits, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And this is for the back of where it goes, I guess. So we'll set that out of the way for a moment. And as you can see, I do have this up on a roll of tape, and that's because if you set it flat, it will pop pieces off. So again, if you're going to do this one, glue it. And if you're going to handle it, this is the best place to handle it. And as you can see, it's got the wings on it. They do not move unless they come off. The blacked out cockpit. It does have a lot of nice printed details on it that show you it's Boba Fett's version of Slave 1 and not his father's. And there I am handling it in other places, so it's probably going to fall off. Even on the bottom here, it's got some pretty good details on it. And I would say overall it looks pretty good. And here's the other side of it. You can see the guns. You know, you have to put that together too. So, not a bad little piece. And unfortunately, I can't fit all of this in the camera. So, maybe just the most important parts you'll see. And it just kind of lines up like that. Let's see. So there you can kind of see how it lines up. This back piece just leans up against it. And then the two cradles cradle it. And then you would turn it, you know, front ways, I guess. And unfortunately, I can't show you it all because there's lots of bits and bobs up higher that nobody really wants to see. And I will say this, you know, it's a difficult, I won't say it's super difficult, but it is what it is. And I picked it up, so I forced myself to go ahead and get through it and put it together. And there it is, my friends. A look at the model kit, such as it is. For final ramblings on the 4D Cityscape 4D model kit Star Wars The Mandalorian Boba Fett Starship, aka Slave 1, I have to say this is the third one of these cardboard models that I've put together. And the box even calls this one a paper model, which I guess, you know, technically it is, but it's more cardboard than paper, or even cardstock. So there's that. But this is the third one I've put together. It is a different company. The other two were Spin Masters, or Spin Master, and they were 4D build. This is 4D Cityscape 4D model kit. And I have to say, I have a few other ones by this same company, and I hope it's not more of the same. This is my least favorite out of the three that I've put together. Now, don't get me wrong, it looks good, but the build was a bit frustrating. Some of the angles and the tabs and stuff just didn't want to quite work right. But if, and of course, I didn't use the glue. And I should have. The glue it comes with takes a bit of time to cure. Like, I want to say the directions said 48 hours to fully cure. And I'm assuming you could use like Elmer's glue or whatever. And that would probably cure a little bit faster, or even super glue. But, you know, I just don't want to take the time to do that. And you know, that one's on me. But as far as this one goes, if once you get it together, you put it on the stand and you leave it there, it's going to be okay, I think. You might have to push a piece back on the back of it occasionally, but for the most part, it's pretty stable and does stay together. Like I said, as long as you're not like flying it around the room or whatever, you should be okay. Now, I think the biggest issue, at least that I have with this model kit, is the stand is made for it to be in flying mode, but the model itself is not in flying mode. It is in landed mode. And as you can see, the wings are parallel to the ground rather than perpendicular for the flight mode. And as it comes around, you'll also see the ramp area is open. Is that how it's supposed to be? Maybe I'm just thinking too much of the Kenner, where the piece slides out, maybe. But it seems like that part, yeah, it closes up too. At least the way I remember it. But as far as like the printed detail and stuff on this one, it's pretty good. As far as the 3D effect on this one, again, it's pretty good. It was just a little bit more frustrating to put together than the other ones. And again, that's partially on me, because I'm just stubborn and decided not to use the glue. But, you know, if you're a Boba Fett fan and you want a Slave 1 just to like display on your desk and people say, hey, that's cool, did you put that together? This, you know, this is for you. If you're looking for something more for use with action figures or something, this is not the piece for you. Again, these are just for display. They're not really to play with or anything like that. So, you know, if you got a couple hours to kill, and I say a couple, this one probably took me a few hours more than that. Probably about 4 to 5 hours total working on it over about 3 days. And that's not per day, that's spread out over the 3 days. So, but you know, I mean, it looks decent. And it's pretty, the inside of it is sturdy. And some on the outside is sturdy, but like this back piece here as it comes around, that's the piece that likes to flop off. It just doesn't tab in as well as it should, in my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary. But again, overall, it was a nice piece. It was a nice diversion for a few afternoons to put this thing together. And, you know, again, it looks kind of cool. It's a nice conversation piece if you like have a desk somewhere that it's sitting on, or some sort of table display or whatever. But again, you know, the big thing about it is the model itself is landed, and there's no way to put it in flight mode. But when you put it on the stand, it's flying pretty much. So there is that. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just to help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.